Yeah, that's much better, I think. Anyway, I'll just talk, Marjorie. All right, good evening. Happy Monday evening. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I did. Um, we are finally in March. It's Springs the Gleam. Okay. For spring and for St. Patty's Day, it's St. Patty's season. Um, so I'm glad it's finally March. I hope everyone has a marvelous March. It's gonna be marvelous for me because it's my birthday month here. So we're only like 24, we're only 25 days until my birthday. I can't wait, which we'll discuss on Saturday on Black Marathon Madness. But, um, so I'm your host, Johnson McCain, if you don't know that already. Um, and, um, let's see. And also, this is the last week of season 12, okay? So which I can't believe it. And we'll talk more about the next season, season 14, which is my favorite number, and sometimes my lucky number. Um, but we'll talk about things with that. Um, like on Friday before like we have a spring break hiatus for a week and a half. But we'll talk about that in Friday. But no further ado, let's begin. Today I'm going to talk about season 3, episode 26, Brotherhood's Big Break, and then season 4A, episode 1, Brotherhood's Booming Pyramid. So let's begin with season 3, episode 26, Brotherhood's Big Break. So this is a Monday episode. He gets breakfast, he goes to the gym, he does the pyramid, and last week the Brotherhood had a good week with the Brotherhood. Um, um, the week before this, the Brotherhood was pretty good behaved. There was no craziness. They're finally starting to behave themselves. So, um, so, um, I thought in honor that I would put this has never happened and will never happen again in Saginaw Block or Brotherhood history. Hunter is usually on top of the pyramid with his assistant, which at this point is Aiden. So me and Aiden are usually on the top of the pyramid. And then the members go down and based on how they behaved the previous week. Um, but this week I decided, okay, everyone was surprisingly behaved last week with the Brotherhood. Um, so this week, every single member, this is the only time this happens, will be on top of the pyramid. Everyone was so thankful, everyone was so glad, no one complained, and they were kind of shocked and surprised. But he announces that everyone is on top of the pyramid. Then he goes to Breakfast Club / Morning Club. At this point, the Brotherhood 2.0 is dismantled, but the Morning Club and Breakfast Club still going on. So he chit chats with Erica about the weekend they had, and he chit chats with the members about their weekend. They eat breakfast, um, and they eat breakfast, and then um, they do some activities, and they just have a good time. And then the bell rings. It's first period, and which is language arts with Miss Hendricks. Uh, and they're finishing up their book, The Giver. So they're finishing up, and then they have some questions over the chapter they read. And then the bell rings. Hunter goes to second period, which is Miss Warnock, which is leading. They work on their book that they're doing, and then they have some questions, and then they move on. And then pre-algebra with Miss Cornell, third period. They have bell work, and then they have a lesson, and that's pretty much it. Um, and then he goes to lunch. They have a boardhead meeting. They chit chat at the weekend, and then he announces to the members that weren't at the pyramid at the gym. They announce the pyramid, um, and shows everybody that they're all on top of the pyramid. So which they're very happy about. So, but they enjoy their Chinese chicken and egg rolls and stuff. And then after that, he goes to study hall, which we don't see because there's nothing going on. And then he goes to science with Miss Mertz. Because at this point, is Miss Mertz, they're working on something. They do a bell work, and then they have a lesson, and then do some type of assignment. And then he goes to Mr. Neville's choir. Um, they work on some music skills, do some same old, same old. Then he goes to geography with Mr. Wimledge, and they just do some type of bell work and a lesson and some type of assignment. And then he goes to the resource with it, he does his pre-algebra assignment with Erica, Jennifer, Kayla, and Hannah. It's kind of stressful, but they get through it. The bell rings at 3:45. He goes home. So the Burrhead catch the big break this week. They made it all on the top of the pyramid. The break that they finally needed from Hunter. So, and that was nice of me because I'm usually the savage and the king, and it's my way or the highway. But I decided to get a Burrhead a break this week because they were so well behaved previous week. So, I'm gonna catch them some slack this week. But the day is over. They had a marvelous Monday, but now we're gonna talk about season 4A, episode 1, Barhead's Booming Pyramid. So they have another good pyramid. And but let's get in, and this is the week before the first day of the last week before the lockdown. So, but anyway, we'll get into it. So it starts out, he gets breakfast, and then he does their pyramid. Um, but it's a little bit different this week. Because last week, the week before, um, like Friday or whatever, he kind of got in trouble with the principal because he said, um, "You're not. I don't want you to do this pyramid," and people are upset about the pyramid. So Hunter decides to not go to. He goes to the gym, but he doesn't really do the original like online pyramid. He has a paper pyramid, which is the only time we have paper pyramid, and he kind of shows the camera, you guys, the pyramid, and where the members are, and tells tells um everybody where the members are, and some of the members have a pretty good week. And last week was a pretty smooth week, so they're not all on top this time like the other time. But they do pretty good, some of the members, and Hunter's surprised at how good some of these members are doing at this point. But they have a pretty good booming pyramid, which is the last pyramid ever because we get into lockdown, but it's not the last pyramid, and we'll find um but it's the last one until 11th grade. But and then he goes to Breakfast Club. He chit chats with Erica about their weekend, and they do some activities. They eat breakfast. He chit chats with the members of the morning club, Breakfast Club. Um, so and then um, and then he goes to language arts, and they start the Giver movie because the week before they finish. So this is where they start, and he's so excited because his favorite artist, and my personal favorite artist, Taylor Swift, is in the movie. So he's excited, and people think Miss Hendrix, and some people he lacks the Taylor. He gets all excited, and people think, "Oh my God, this guy is crazy." But But anyway, after that, he goes to Miss Warnock's class, and they finished their book on Friday as well. But they don't watch the movie yet. But they have a they have a bell work, and they actually take this this test over the book, and then the next day they begin to watch their movie as well. Which and personally, I love movies about books more than. And I think I understand the book better in movie form than actually hearing it or reading it because I forget stuff. But when I watched the action and the movie and actually seen it like play out, like instead because I and seeing it being visualized, it helps me. Are you guys the same way that you like the movie of the book more if they have a movie of it, or the book, or both? I like the movie actually because I like to actually see what's going on because you can kind of see from the book, what's going on. You can kind of visualize it in the head, but if you actually see the movie, you actually kind of see what the characters of the book were actually doing because you can kind of visualize it, but you might be wrong. But the movie, I think, is more helpful to me with somebody with ADHD and learning challenges. But are you the same way as me? Tell me. I mean, um, put in the comments or wherever. But that's always interesting to me. But anyway, after reading, he goes to third period with Miss Carnell, which is Cleodra. They have bell work lesson, and then they have some type of activity. They have time to work on their assignment, which he doesn't do because he waits until resource. And then um, he goes to lunch. He chit chats with the Brotherhood, um, and they talk about the weekend. They have some fun. He actually, at this point, Aiden and Brendan are not in the Brotherhood at this point, and I talked about the timeline in the last Marathon Madness. But they still we're still friends at this point, and we chit chat a little bit. So that's kind of nice. Um, because you don't have to be a member of the Brotherhood to chit chat with me and be friends with me. But anyway, but that was nice. And we laughed a little bit. So um, and then and but they enjoyed their lunch, and then study hall, which we don't see because there's nothing interesting going on. But at that she gives kind of a report, um, of where they're at with the pyramid. So, and they're very happy about that. And then after study hall, we're now at science, and this is the first week that Miss Fairchild's back from her absence, her kind of month-long absence. So this is the first week back, but it's also the last week because we go into the lockdown, which I talked about before. But she said she um, welcomes everybody back, and she says she's glad to see everybody, and that she missed everybody during her absence. She kind of gives a report of the month, basically, what Miss Mertz said about us, and and other subs said because sometimes Miss Mertz couldn't do it, so we had other subs, and kind of give one down. There was some craziness, during Miss Mertz, and in fact, we had fishes and stuff. Well, some, and we were supposed to take care of it, and the person that was responsible, and they didn't take care of it very well, and they ended up um, passing on, going to fish heaven. Not all of them, but some of them. And that was she was upset about that because, oh my gosh. But um, they just kind of give a rundown. But this day was basically just bell work, and then she just kind of talks about, you know, um, about the sub reports or whatever. And then they actually start watching, and they start um, presenting posters. We've had this documentary that we watched last week the last 2 weeks, the week last week with Miss Mertz about like environment stuff, about like animals and stuff, vegan stuff. But so we and we made posters about it. So some people start to present their posters, and we didn't finish them all. But the next day we present one. Hunter presents his the next day. Um, and then that was pretty much it. And then he goes to choir, which is the same old, you know. And then geography. It gets kind of fun in this period. And the most savagest, funniest thing happened. So Mr. Woolridge talks a little bit and does his little ranting a little bit and vileness a little bit. And then we discuss upcoming project. We discuss that the geography class and science class are doing a joint project, environmentalist recycling type project about the environment. And they do it every year, and we get assigned a topic. We have to make a slideshow about it. So he introduces the project, and um, they and um, I don't know. I don't remember if this is a group project. No, it's a solo project. But we get in a group though to brainstorm some ideas, and actually we do a hands-on activity. Um, um, and um, what we do is we get these trash bags, and we're picking up trash, we're recycling, we're cleaning up um, the property of the school. So we go outside and we joke around. Hunter and Brendan are in a group together or something, and they're kind of laughing about the trash pickup, and they're starting to pick up trash like in the football field or um, like the recess area, or um, it's not really recess area, but like the outdoor plaza. Um, but um, where we hang out sometime, and then we go to the parking lot and pick up some trash. It's but um, like we go near the baseball field and pick up. It's a nice day too. It's March, and in fact, we went in the parking and um, Hunter sees his mom's car because she actually works at she at this point she worked at on the bus or something, and that's where they park. And she was like this bus aide or something. But um, but and he sees this car. Hunter's in love with his dancing, so he kind of dances on his mom's car. And and Brendan are laughing about it a little bit, and it's kind of a funny moment. And you'll see the clip of it. And that was the funniest thing ever. And then we continue to pick up trash, but luckily Mr. Woodridge wasn't here. Like, and to yell at us and say, "Don't stop screwing around." Um, but Hunter would probably be in the office for ISD. But luckily it was just him and a couple of his friends and Brotherhood members. They were all laughing, and he was like dancing. Instead of picking up, then they go on a sidewalk, and this hill. They pick up some trash around the school. Then they go back to the parking lot, and Link sees um, his mom's car isn't there anymore. Her shift is done, apparently. But he goes to the football day. Him and Brendan and some other friends chit chat. Jared is in this class too, I believe. Christopher K is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're dancing. Like, what? Shh. Yeah, you know, but um, but they go back to the class, they finish up, they pack up, and then it's now resource, and he and Hunter does his assignment with Kayla, Jennifer, Hannah, and Erica the whole 9 yards. It's stressful, but he gets through it. But that's it. So, that's it for this episode of Sajan Block Marathon Madness. I hope everyone has a marvelous Monday night. Have a marvelous March. And God bless and protect each and every one of you. And I'll see you Tuesday evening for another episode. Bye.